Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dave Yoster. I am the president of the Managed Service Provider Association of America. We are joined today by Martin Villeboy. Martin, is that pronunciation correct?
Yes, Villeboy, yep.
Great, thanks. Martin is from Beka Media Channel Vision. Thanks for joining us, Martin.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, Martin, your role at the Channel Vision Beka Media is editor-in-chief. Before we get into that, can you just very quickly explain what the difference is between Channel Vision and Beka Media?
Yeah, well, Beka Business Media is a B2B marketing company. We do a few publications, websites, obviously we have a trade show, third-party content, things like that. We serve webinars, we have a B2B email service. So pretty much any kind of B2B marketing. Our roots are publishing magazines, and we have three magazine properties that we currently have. One of them is Channel Vision, which serves the channel. One of them is called Remote Work Solutions, which is it's for MSPs, about remote work tools and communications. And then we have an offshoot one that actually covers sporting goods in the sporting goods industry, and that's kind of a long story of how we got that one. But we'll call that diversification. And we have a sporting goods product as well too. And then CVX is.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then CVX is our trade show that we do also, and then we do some show guides and show daily stuff for other trade shows. So a lot of B2B media.
Okay, so when you say the channel, you're talking about MSPs in particular, or is there a different channel?
Well, for us, our roots are probably our telecom agents. That's what I'd say. Our roots are going way back, right? I mean, even way back to the early days. And and as the channel partner, as acronyms have become less clear, and IT and communications have kind of merged, that audience has turned into and agents have turned into MSPs. Acronyms are kind of fuzzy nowadays, I think. So our audience has kind of grown to those core agents, to value-added resellers, to MSPs. Pretty much any kind of trusted advisor is our readership. And then our customers and sponsors are the providers of communications and network services, primarily that use the channel.
How long has the company been involved in the media component?
Oh boy, over 20 years. Yeah, over 20. I think we started over 20 years. And Burge, the founder, and myself, before that, we worked at Virgo Publishing, which is a big media company, for 5 or 10 years before that. So it's been a while. Channel Vision, I think, has been around alone. Channel Vision has celebrated over 20 years. So,
all right. So over the past 20 years, you've obviously had a lot of insight, a lot of experience, and a lot of lessons learned in the B2B marketing world. And you've obviously implemented a lot of those. In your marketing experience, for companies that are trying to get more exposure, so MSPs, for example, that are trying to just get their company out there at a very high level, is there something that you could convey to the audience? Like, what would be a key component to start on when you're talking media?
Well, obviously we're a little different when it comes to marketing, but I don't think it's irrelevant to an MSP doing his marketing either. But we have an audience, right? So we've always had a loyal audience because of having Channel Vision. So we're mostly marketing to an audience, right? So, and who trusts us as a third party, unbiased third party. Now, I think that when most companies want to market, they want to think of who they're talking to as their audience, and they do want to attempt to build an audience, right? That they're talking to, not just prospects, or not just a list, or not just random consumers. And that's done often with content, right? By providing whatever audience that you have, or email list that you have, provide them content, become try to get them loyal to you as an audience and to as a content provider. And then I think the marketing becomes much more receptive, or they become more receptive to the marketing.
So your audience that you're talking about, do you have a number of audience? If you can share that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head. It does often change. But as far as like channel vision, I think channel vision, we still physically mail channel vision. And believe it or not, it's still a cash cow. People are still buying print ads in a print magazine that we mail. And that's mailed regularly to about 30,000 people. Now, across all our properties that fit within the channel, which would include MSP properties, wholesale property, wholesale stuff, and the channel, I think our email blast is pushing 100,000 audience. So it's a pretty large audience. And it's been built up for a long time. So our digital audience is about 100,000. Our physical print audience is about 30,000.
So I'm hearing you say that, build your audience and then give them the content that appeals to them. That's the magic question, right? What appeals to your audience?
Help. I think help with their challenges. I think if you're selling to someone, you probably know their problems, you probably know their issues, you probably know what issues your problems are going to solve. So I think you kind of focus on what they're dealing with and how you can help them, and examples of how you help people like them, I think is another very powerful message.
Okay. So you guys have a trade show coming up in November, I believe it is this year. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. CVX started as a co-located show inside IT Expo, which is in Florida. It's been going on for about 20 years. You're probably familiar with it. I'm sure some of your audience is familiar with it. So we co-located that, and then just kind of expanded and grew and kept growing and got a little too big to be co-located. So a couple of years ago, we decided to kind of launch it on our own, and we're kind of positioning it as end the year to celebrate the channel and build your roadmap for the next year. So this year would be to 2025. In November, and we hang our hat on having exemplary education. Not letting folks go up there and just do product pitches. Of having a good mix of exhibitors that have the kind of the cutting edge and core technologies I think that most people are buying nowadays, from UCaaS to security to AI infused call center products and things of that nature.
Sure.
And then have a bunch of fun, having some fun, celebrating the final year, networking with the right people. We do a lot of events, a lot of parties, a lot of free food. A lot of free drinks, and so it's kind of a place where we want the channel community to come together at the end of the year, be productive, but also kind of celebrate the channel a little bit, and we try to keep a really good value. It's free to all, on any kind of qualified partner.
I'm definitely a fan of a good meal. I'm not going to deny that. You said a few minutes ago, you were part of IT Expo and you grew and you outgrew that space, so you had to move to your own space. During that phase of growth, what kind of strategy did you guys use for these events to move you to the next phase, to where you are now?
I'd say partnerships. We built partnerships with some key vendors. And we really work to benefit each other. And I think that's kind of one of our things we hang our hat on, and one of the reasons why we're successful. I mean, let's face it, we're not doing anything that's incredibly unique. There's B2B media companies out there. There's several trade shows out there. We're not reinventing any model. What we really hang our hat on is we always say yes to our customers, and we always make sure we make our customers feel really great. You know what I mean? And feel like they're being treated special. And we firmly believe that is the key to our success, is how we treat our customers. And in this case, our customers were our partners that were building that show. So we found out what they wanted from a show, what they were required, and we made sure to kind of deliver that and kind of build out from what would be mutually beneficial. So I would say key partnerships is kind of what got us out of there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And if you were speaking to an end user, an MSP, not really a partner, what advice could you give to someone like that to move to the next strategy? Because they're not a partner, they are an end user. What could they use to enhance their strategies?
I'm not sure I understand. So you mean as far as an MSP that was looking to do what as far as
So
I'm not
grow.
sure.
So we
Mhm.
obviously have people that are trying to grow in the world and business wise. So they're not partners. They don't partner with other partners. So let's just
Mhm,
take an
mhm,
MSP for example, right? If an MSP is trying to expand on their marketing efforts to get more visibility and growth, now you guys have been in the industry for a long time and you're pretty big.
mhm,
What would your advice be to someone like an MSP to take the
mhm.
next step to developing that growth and visibility?
I think one thing that people can do, and I think it's a common mistake within kind of tech marketing in
Okay.
general, is they're scared to be specific, right, about what they do. Everybody wants to stay general and say things like, we make your business run great, you know what I mean, or we get your operations going, and just kind of, because I think they're generally afraid for anybody to see something that, oh, that's not us, you know what I mean,
Okay.
and afraid to get specific, if that makes sense. I think you got to say what you do. I think you got to, make it clear what you're doing, make it clear what you're going to solve. I mean, eliminate the technology double speak. Don't you most likely can't serve everybody. You most likely can't make everybody happy. Focus on what the verticals and the markets and the situations that you can, and drive that value home. Don't be afraid to be who you are. And stay away from the generalized language. I think for most people, it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, I think that's
Buyers want their problem solved. Tell them how you're going to solve their problem. Don't tell them you're going to reinvent their call center. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Does that make sense?
yeah, it's good advice. Makes a lot of sense. I know that in the tech world, there's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of coded language, and
Mhm.
in my experience and speaking to a number of partners MSPs, that is one of the major issues that clients say is they don't understand what tech providers are talking about, and that goes for MSPs as well as vendors, right?
Absolutely. As vendors, a lot. I mean, Dave, I spent a lot of time researching as a writer and a producer of
Sure.
content. I spent a lot of time researching. I spent a lot of time on vendor sites, on MSP sites, on partner sites, on agent sites. Because that's your first step in most research, right?
Sure.
And or you're researching an area, a specific area. You're like, oh, I'm going to look at some of these vendors or some of these providers of these specific areas. And I go to their websites and I read and I'm reading. And I've been covering this in the channel and covering technology and covering communications and covering IT network services for over 20 years. And I'm still like, what do you do? Yeah, I'm still like, do you fit in this area that I'm researching or not? I've gone through 3 pages now, and I'm still not sure what you do. If it's most likely, if I don't understand it, then the buyer who's not getting paid to research it is going to be in and out, right? I'm
Sure.
actually getting paid to sit there and read through it, and I'm having difficulty in not getting through it. So the buyer who may be buying something as just one of his jobs while he's putting out a fire here, he's certainly not going to have the patience to figure out what you do. Is that you got to get it out. It has to be more clear. It has to be more clear,
Yeah,
and you
100%
can't be
agree with.
yeah, and you can't be afraid to oh, we're going to lose this segment. Another example is too is you hear providers say, "Hey, we serve anybody from 50 seats to 5,000 seats, or 50 seats to 50,000 seats." It's like, no, you don't. You can't. No one can do
Sure.
that, right? What you're going to provide at 50 seats is not what the person at 50,000 seats needs, and vice versa. Tell me what you do. We do 550 seats to 200 seats. That's our niche. That's where we kill it. That's what I want to hear. That's what I think the person who has 50 to 200 seats wants to hear as well.
Some really good advice there. Just coming back to your conference end of year, you obviously have a number of attendees, and the website is below for anyone that wants to attend that. I'm sure you guys have special discount codes that you disperse. I know
Yes.
through the association you give us some that we give out as well. Who can they contact if they do want to actually come and attend?
Well, actually, right now, if you go to the website, we haven't opened our official registration yet. That's going to be
Okay,
coming very soon. November's still far away. We do
sure.
have a pre-registration button there. If you hit that quick form, you can fill out. We will contact you as soon as registration is open. Like you said, we want partners and advisors to come to the show. So in most cases, you can come for free, and we can get you a code, assuming you qualify. If you're sourcing communications and IT and you're selling those to end users, you're going to qualify for a free pass, and that includes.
We were there last year.
Yeah,
we were there last year, and we
Yep.
had a really good time. And the venue is fantastic.
Yep.
Same venue?
Yes, same venue. It's Talking Stick. It's on the Pima Indian Reservation, right outside of Scottsdale, about 2 miles from downtown Scottsdale, in some undisrupted desert. Very pretty place. Beautiful sunsets, and we feel like it is the perfect size for a show. It's got all the amenities that you get at a bigger hotel or a Vegas hotel, without a lot of the Vegas craziness and the Vegas expense. And yeah, right. And and it's small, right? You're not going to walk 5 miles to get to a meeting or to get from the sessions. Everything's pretty compact and pretty tight. The sessions are right below the main floor. So, it's again, taking our 20 years, we've been to a lot of trade shows over the past 20 years. Burge and I, the founder of the company, we really set out to, and this is a marketing advice too, is when you're doing product marketing and building it, we really built it to take away all the pain, right? That was kind of an initial point. Like, what do we hate about trade shows? What are some of the necessary evils of going to a trade show and business travel in general? And we started from, let's eliminate those things. Let's take those things out of the equation so it can be a valuable, positive experience.
Well, great. Thank you very much for that. So anyone who is watching or going to be watching in the future, me personally, I highly recommend this trade show. We were at last year. It was a whole lot of fun. Besides for just the normal conferences, educational sessions, there are a number of activities in the evenings as well. So anyone, I highly encourage you to go and attend this, or even just look at the website and look it up for yourself. Martin, thank you so much for coming on today and giving us some insight into how you guys do marketing. I appreciate the time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the end of the year.
All right, David. I appreciate you giving us this platform, and again, good seeing you. We're looking forward to seeing you in November.
You too. You have a great day. Thanks very much.
You too, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.